The moment the numbers refreshed, the industry paused. Another number one, another record broken. And once again, Bruno Mars stood at the center of pop music's shifting universe, calm, calculated, and quietly rewriting history. In a week dominated by streaming battles and viral sensations, Bruno Mars surged past two major musical superstars as his latest smash climbed to the top of a key U.S. chart. According to reporting by Forbes, the singer's new single, I Just Might, not only secured the number one position but also pushed him into rarefied territory, giving him more chart-topping hits in this category than two of his most recognizable peers. It is a milestone that reinforces a simple truth: Bruno Mars is no longer just a hitmaker, he is a generational institution. The achievement arrives at a pivotal moment in his career. More than a decade after he first dominated radio with polished hooks and retro flair, Bruno Mars is once again reshaping the competitive landscape of American pop. His latest number one isn't an isolated success. It's the latest chapter in a career defined by precision, patience, and an almost surgical understanding of what audiences crave. Born Peter Gene Hernandez in Honolulu, Hawaii, Bruno Mars grew up immersed in music. His childhood was steeped in performance, impersonations, and live band culture. He wasn't manufactured by a viral moment. He was forged on stage. By the time he broke through in the early 2010s, he had already mastered something rare: the balance between nostalgic homage and modern innovation. From the explosive funk revival of Uptown Funk to the silky smooth storytelling of When I Was Your Man, Bruno Mars built a catalog that felt timeless. His ability to merge classic soul influences with contemporary production positioned him uniquely in an industry increasingly driven by trends. While others chased sounds, he crafted eras. Now with I Just Might dominating airwaves and streaming platforms, he has done it again. The track blends disco-pop energy with polished pop-soul textures, recalling the warmth of late 70s dance floors while remaining unmistakably modern. Critics have described it as both celebratory and restrained, an anthem that feels effortless but reveals layered musicianship upon closer listen. The single serves as the lead release from his forthcoming album, The Romantic, a project insiders say leans deeper into lush arrangements and live instrumentation. Industry observers note that while many pop releases today are built for short-form virality, Bruno Mars continues to prioritize full-bodied composition. It's a strategy that appears to be paying off. A senior radio programmer in Los Angeles, speaking on Background, described the song's immediate impact. When Bruno drops a record, stations don't hesitate. There's a trust factor. Programmers know it's going to test well, audiences know it's going to feel good. That kind of consistency is rare. Behind the scenes, the creative process has reportedly been meticulous. Longtime collaborators say Bruno Mars spends months refining arrangements, replaying live instruments, and adjusting vocal stacks until the mix feels emotionally exact. He treats pop music like cinema. One producer who has worked within his extended circle said, "Every detail matters, nothing is accidental." This attention to craft has long separated him from peers. While the modern music ecosystem rewards speed, Bruno Mars thrives on restraint. His release gaps may be longer than most, but each return feels like an event. That strategy was evident in his collaboration with Silk Sonic, the retro soul project formed alongside Anderson .Paak. Their album reintroduced lush harmonies and vintage aesthetics to mainstream audiences, proving that throwback sounds could still dominate contemporary charts. Music critic Alan Light once observed that Bruno Mars operates with a scholar's respect for the past and a showman's instinct for spectacle. That duality defines his cultural impact. He channels influences from legends like Michael Jackson and Prince without feeling derivative. Instead, he reframes those inspirations for a new generation. The latest chart milestone underscores how that formula continues to resonate. Surpassing two major superstars in total number one placements within the same chart category signals more than commercial success. It signals longevity. In a streaming era where hits often burn fast and fade faster, Bruno Mars' catalog has proven remarkably durable. Data analysts point to his cross-platform appeal. His songs perform strongly on traditional radio, maintain streaming consistency, and experience periodic viral resurgences on social media platforms. That multi-channel dominance reflects a fan base that spans generations. Teen listeners stream his upbeat singles. Older audiences embrace the live instrumentation and retro authenticity. Industry veteran and Grammy-winning producer Mark Ronson, who previously collaborated with Bruno Mars, once said, "He understands dynamics better than almost anyone in pop. He knows when to explode and when to pull back." That philosophy is audible in I Just Might. The track builds patiently before unleashing a chorus engineered for stadium-sized sing-alongs. Yet beyond metrics and accolades, the narrative surrounding Bruno Mars is equally compelling. Unlike many chart-topping artists, he rarely courts controversy. He maintains a controlled public image, avoiding oversharing in an era of constant digital exposure. Some critics argue that this distance enhances his mystique, others see it as discipline. A cultural commentator at a major New York publication recently framed it this way: Bruno Mars doesn't oversaturate the market. When he appears, it feels intentional. That restraint builds anticipation. Anticipation builds impact. The broader impact on American pop culture is undeniable. Bruno Mars helped reignite mainstream interest in funk, R&B, and live band performance during a period heavily dominated by electronic production. Younger artists cite him as proof that musicality still matters. Live horn sections, layered harmonies, and choreographed performances have re-entered the conversation partly because he never abandoned them. There is also a business dimension. Each new number one strengthens his negotiating power for touring residencies, brand partnerships, and streaming platform features. Analysts predict that if The Romantic performs in line with its lead single, it could mark one of the year's strongest album launches. Still, those close to him suggest that chart positions are not the ultimate motivation. He's competitive, yes, said one collaborator, but it's not about beating someone else, it's about beating his own last record. That internal competition may explain the sustained excellence. From early songwriting credits behind the scenes to global superstardom, Bruno Mars has evolved without losing his core identity. He remains both craftsman and performer, both historian and innovator. For American audiences, the story resonates because it feels earned. This is not overnight fame. It is incremental mastery, every harmony stacked carefully, every bridge constructed deliberately, every comeback calculated but heartfelt. As I Just Might continues its reign and anticipation builds for The Romantic, the industry watches closely. Will he extend his record further? Will he redefine his sound again? Or will he surprise listeners with another unexpected pivot? What seems certain is this: Bruno Mars has transcended the volatility of modern pop cycles. He operates in a lane that blends nostalgia with precision-engineered modernity. His latest milestone is not merely about surpassing two superstars. It is about solidifying a legacy that grows more formidable with each release. In an era obsessed with the next big thing, Bruno Mars remains something rarer, an enduring force. And if history is any indication, this latest number one is less a peek than a preview of what comes next. Bruno Mars is back at the center of the music conversation, and this time it's about history in the making. The global superstar has just reached another major career milestone, surpassing two fellow chart giants as his latest single climbs to number one. For American audiences, this moment isn't just another headline. It's proof that Bruno Mars remains one of the most consistent and influential forces in modern pop music. From his early breakout hits to his Grammy-winning dominance and the retro soul revival of Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars has built a reputation on precision, showmanship, and timeless songwriting. His newest chart-topping success highlights not only commercial power, but also cultural longevity in an era where trends shift overnight. While streaming algorithms often define today's hits, Bruno Mars continues to blend live instrumentation, classic R&B influences, and stadium-ready hooks that resonate across generations. Why does this matter? Because in today's competitive industry landscape, sustained excellence is rare. Bruno Mars isn't just collecting trophies, he's shaping the sound of American pop culture and redefining what long-term success looks like. Watch the full report to explore the numbers, the backstory, and what this achievement means for the future of Bruno Mars and the music industry.